Market update here on the 24th. Got about 3 hours left in the market. Starting here at the video, I think the video looks pretty good for a buy here. It's in this daily demand zone right here. If you remember back a video I made a couple of weeks ago, probably talked about this a few different times. This can either be the fourth wave or we topped out right here. Regardless, if you're just looking at this wave from the start here on June 20th, this is looking more and more like a ABC move. So A, B, and C, and you can see here this has 5 waves. And it's more than likely not going to break this parallel line, and if it were a third wave, it would have to go all the way down here to 105. It's already making the 5th wave, and it's only at 115. So that means it's probably ABC unless there's an extension. The only other way it could be a 5-wave move is if this extends. So if you're not familiar with that, that means there'd be 9 waves instead of 5. So it would just probably look like this. If it's going to go down to 105, maybe you get something like this. So it ends up being 9 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Down to 105. But right now, just based on what I see, it looks like ABC to me. So I bought a call here. We'll see how it goes. I'd probably, if some kind of extension happens, then I would get out of them, take a loss. But right now, looking very good. I would look for a bounce back to 125, probably within the next month, as long as this is ABC. So then let's go over to AMD. AMD looks like it should be ready to bounce. It blew right through this demand zone though. It just tapped the 50 SMA on the weekly. It's a little bit above it right now. Needs to hold that. So far so good. We'll see if it holds it. Based on the timing of this, I would say this is more than likely a wave 1 of a C wave down. So I would say more than likely this is going to be the other possibility. The bullish possibility is we get a short C wave like that and it goes to new highs. So either way, I think it should be ready to bounce. It's down $40 in 2 weeks. And if it keeps on going down, that would be pretty crazy. But I mean, you've seen Meta and other stocks in the past just fall off a cliff. Tesla in 2022. It's possible, so we'll have to watch it. But it looks like 5 waves are finishing up on AMD as well. So these two are probably going to bounce. Let's look at the option flow on them. Option flow does not look very bullish though. 145 put was bought at 148. And yeah, so we'll see what happens with it. It could keep on going down. Watch out, it did break through that, but it does have 50 weekly support. QQQ, I haven't gone over this a lot lately. It's completing 5 waves as well. Another reason why we're probably going to bounce, and I've been talking about this zone right here between 462 and 467 for a long time. And look at this, perfect 5 waves as well. So all of these are getting ready to bounce, in my opinion. If they keep on going down, it would have to be an extension. So QQQ, I'm looking for a bounce to at least probably like 484. And this is a 5-wave move though, so that means you're looking to short the retrace. And this is pretty much what I've been talking about the last month or two, that we had already topped out. And I'm expecting something like, I don't know how far this is going to go down. Maybe I'm looking for something like this in 2025, basically. And then maybe an expanded flat like that when the market crashes. So I don't think that this completely topped out, but I think that it might be the actual top out for the 5 waves. So if we go down to 466 for 5 waves, let's just look at where the 1.61 fib is. It's all the way down here at 444. So we could be looking at 444, which is actually the bottom of this, depending on how this goes. It could end up being 5 waves too. You never know. It could end up being down here. People wouldn't expect that. And then it could end up doing, actually, take that back. It's probably going to have to be an ABC for the expanded flat. I don't think that if you get 5 waves, you probably won't get an expanded flat off 5 waves. It's probably going to be ABC. And the timing of that would probably take too long. So I think ABC makes more sense. Maybe something like this going into like October, November. So we'll see. That's QQQ. Let's look at SPY. And SPY, a little bit different. SPY looks to me like potentially in a 3rd wave here. We'll have to watch it. Or that was a B wave, and we're making a C wave down. That makes more sense. So SPY is probably making an ABC move down. This took 3 days. This took 4 days. So I would expect this to be done pretty quickly. It looks like it's so maybe a little bit more downside here. Maybe another 1% down, 537. If it can get down here to this demand zone, then I would expect a bounce. That could last maybe sometime like mid-August or early August, and then get that final move down here, potentially down here to 511, maybe a little bit lower than this. So we'll have to see on that, but SPY is not bullish at all here. When it gets down here to 2-day demand, I would be pretty bullish though. Tesla, trying to bounce here. The video I just did, I talked about this potentially being an ABC move. To me, it looks like this is probably going to go down here and fill the gap at 212, which is the 1.61 fib right here. So this is probably a 4th wave. So I took profit on my covered calls. I said I wasn't going to in the video, but in the last video, but I only had, I think, $700 left on it. So I went ahead and take profit, and I rolled those to 920 and got pretty good premium for after earnings. So I might take profit on that if we get down here to 212. And then from there, we're just watching to see, are we going to get this, or are we going to get this? Or the third option is, this is a very deep 4th wave, which actually makes sense because the 2nd wave was shallow. This could still be this. So it's either going to be that, or it's going to be this. And if it's 5 waves down, if we do get that 5th wave down here and it goes straight to 200 or something, then it's an invalidation, and that would be very bearish. So Tesla is still fine in my opinion. Let's go over Lulu is just absolutely falling off a cliff. I don't know why. I don't follow the fundamentals in the stock. I know the fundamentals are actually pretty good, but I know that they're slowing in their growth. This technically could go a lot lower. It broke through this weekly demand zone. I sold puts on this like a couple months ago, and I took profit at 337. I wasn't expecting it to keep on going down. My count ended right here, but it ended up extending. It's extending pretty far, and we'll have to see what happens with Lulu. I'm curious when this is going to bounce. On the weekly time frame, there's no moving averages below, and on the monthly, you are below all moving averages as well. The next one is down here at 140. So Lulu right now is a no touch. I don't see any option flow on that's bullish. I don't see any reason to play it right now. Wait for a bounce and see what happens, I guess. Okay, EMPH. I've talked about this in previous videos. I had a position that I built between 105 and 110. I took pretty much full profit today, although it's probably going to go a little bit higher, but it did come in here into the supply zone. So I took profit there, and we'll see what happens. I still think this is going higher, though, potentially all the way up here to 140. And then long term, I think it's going up here to like 180 for the B wave. Mara, I sold puts on this. Maybe a little bit risky because I do think it's going to go much lower. But it's fallen from 27 down to 21, and it has a bunch of support right here between 19 and 21. I sold $20 puts for August, and my break even is like $18.50. Seems pretty safe to me, especially with how much premium I'm getting. Of course, bigger premium means bigger move, and the expected move is, I think it was like $4. So I could potentially get burned on it by a little bit, but I'm not worried about it because if it does burn me, let's say it goes down to 17 bucks into this zone, the bounce, I'll be fine. So Mara could potentially be going to 12 bucks over the next couple of months. Showed it in the last video, like that. We'll see though. Let's take a look at the other big names. Apple. So I already have it drawn up what I think is going to happen. This is going to 195, and it's starting to do that right now. I'm looking for a diagonal ending on Apple. So just making its way down here, the same structure as what I'm looking for that I'm looking for on all the other stocks right here. ABC down like that. Let's look at crowd. So 262. And I said in the last video, weekly demand is here at 240 to 252. Looks to me like this might be a fourth wave. It's probably worth trying to catch the bottom right here at this gap fill in weekly demand. Be hard to believe it goes all the way down to 200. It could, but I think 250 might be a spot where you could get a bounce out of it. Let's see. It did break below the 50. You do have the 200 down here at 205. Something I pointed out in the last video. Breaks through this demand zone, you're looking at 205. What else have I been looking at? Oh, Meta. I don't know why I've been talking about Meta lately. So Meta, I talked about, yeah, third wave here, deep fourth wave. I have a put for 816. That is, I think, a 440 put. And from what my last calculations, I have this going down pretty far, potentially filling these gaps down here at 407 before it's all said and done. But it's kind of hard to tell if this could be a B wave too. If it comes down here farther and breaks the low, that'd be interesting. Anyway, this is a C wave down. I've showed it in last videos here. So we have A, B, C. It's just not apparent whether this is gonna go like this, because this is a pretty big move down, but maybe it bounces back up with the market here soon to the 0.5 fib and then sells off after that, maybe into earnings. So don't be surprised if you get an ABC move higher here to the 0.5 fib. So pretty much already hit it, but maybe you get something like this. And then it sells off after that. The 1.61 fib of this move right here is right around 413, bounce, and then you'd fill the gap potentially down to 375. I forgot why that was a significant point. Oh, because it would cross into the first wave. So Meta is a kind of a weird setup, but I think that the overall picture for this stock for its entirety could end up being a diagonal. So if you're not familiar with the diagonal, it just means that the fourth wave is going to go into the first wave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 like that. And that's how it ends. Trying to see, let's see if we figure out or if there's anything I missed. Nike. So Nike, I got rid of this last week. I just didn't like the price action, and it is falling here. It's a pretty good buy here at 69, 70 bucks. I might actually get back into it. And GME, I haven't looked at that in a while. Where did this end up going? So we got A, B, C. So I was saying it was going to go up here to 36 bucks. Ended up getting a shallow C wave here, I think. So 1, potentially 2, like that. So again, GME is going to go much, much lower here. I would stay far away from this. A lot of people are going to get burnt on this. Let's see, A, B, C, B. Yeah, I think that this is a no touch here. Be very careful on that one. What else we got? I don't know. I went over a lot of them. What's Rivian doing? We'll find out here. Rivian got up to 19 bucks, and it's probably not done. I have $23 gap fill set up here. Let's just look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and potentially a fifth wave higher coming up. Kind of looks like it's setting up for that. Potentially. How about Palantir? Palantir, same thing. I've been talking about 31 bucks for a while. Got up to 29.85, and I would think that this probably has one more move higher as well to fill up that $31 gap. So this ended up being a really easy chart to read. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that is going to be the top when it hits that area. So watch out when it gets to 31 bucks. It's down to 27 right now, but maybe one more thrust higher. All right, I think that's pretty much it for today. I will do an update tomorrow. Good luck trading, and let's see what happens. I think a bounce is going to come here probably in the next couple of days. All right, have a good one. Like, subscribe, more updates, and catch you in the next video.